Hello folks, my name is General from Golden State Times. Welcome back to the newsroom, and today I have a breaking news story. This one comes courtesy of NBC News, and it has to do with North Korea. You heard it right, folks. It says satellite images showed renewed activity at North Korean nuclear lab. Let's get right into it. And it says the activity at a lab follows a series of short-range missile tests by North Korea, apparently aimed at restarting their pressure against the United States and South Korea. It goes on to say this comes courtesy of NBC News. Satellite images showed renewed activity at a North Korean nuclear facility, suggesting that Kim Jong Un's regime is preparing to start, or has already started, reprocessing plutonium for nuclear weapons, according to experts. The commercial satellite photos show steam or smoke rising from the small building at the radiochemistry laboratory and from a adjacent thermal plant. The lab reprocesses spent fuel rods to extract plutonium for nuclear weapons. So let me show you guys the image that they're talking about. And we have to be very careful because this company, they're very adamant on the way that the news shows their pictures. So I'm going to show you guys through a Twitter post by Dr. Mark P. Berry. So let me show you guys real quick. So here we go. So this is the satellite image that is raising concerns over the North Korean nuclear program. And as you guys can see, this is the facility that they're talking about. And this right here is the area of interest. This is the smoke that they're talking about. You can barely see it, but this is the smoke that this report is talking about. So let's go back to the report. And it says the commercial satellite photos show steam or smoke rising from a small building at the radiochemistry laboratory and from the thermal plant. The lab reprocesses spent fuel rods to extract plutonium for nuclear bombs. Once again, the photos were released by Maxar Technologies and the Center of Strategic and International Studies and were posted by a think tank website called Beyond Parallel. It goes on to say, give me one second here. It goes on to say that previous satellite imagery had shown other signs of activity at the thermal power plant in recent weeks. The head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Rafael Morano Grossi, this month cited signs of activity at that facility and another site, calling the nuclear work a clear violation of UN sanctions. The latest activity suggests that North Korea has launched or is preparing to launch a new effort for nuclear reprocessing, according to experts. So it goes on to say that the move and 2 rounds of missile tests in recent weeks are a political maneuver by Kim to challenge Joe Biden's administration and South Korean President Moon Jae-in. So remember under President Trump, that area was quiet. That area was peaceful. You guys probably remember the Olympics at the time. North and South were talking. President Trump was doing summits with Kim Jong Un. President Trump actually stepped foot in North Korea, even if it was for a split second. Then after that, they met at the DMZ. No missile tests, no short range, long range, nothing. Their nuclear facilities were shut down or paused. President Trump himself said, hey, we are getting somewhere, but Kim Jong Un is not ready. Not ready for what? No, he never really said. The Trump administration never put out a release and detailed exactly what President Trump was waiting for, what he was looking for in Kim Jong Un. But all he said that he was not ready. He said maybe in his second term, Kim Jong Un will be ready. Maybe a couple more summits and he will be ready. But you never emphasize on what he was looking for. Biden gets absolutely no respect from North Korea. And not even just North Korea. He gets no respect from China. He gets no respect from Russia, which are key players when it comes to making sure that we keep North Korea in line. So it says, the moves are nothing new in regards to North Korea, but this is happening fairly early within the administration. So it says, in the White House, the State Department and the Defense Department did not respond to any comments. Well, what are they going to respond to? They can't respond to anything. Because they know 100% that North Korea has no respect for Joe Biden. So, as they were talking regarding the United Nations, the UN met this morning. And this comes courtesy of the Associated Press. And it says, the UN takes no action on the latest North Korean missile tests. Council diplomats said all 15 members encouraged dialogue and negotiations on North Korea's nuclear program, but they disagreed on the need for a statement. So they want the United States to talk to North Korea. Dialogue in the region. But North Korea is not having it. They don't want to talk to Biden. Because they know that it's just Obama 2.0. That's all it is. What Obama started, Biden is continuing. Biden doesn't know what he's doing. He has no new policy. He's just going to continue what Obama started. It says the UN Security Council took no action after a brief meeting Tuesday on North Korea's latest ballistic missile test, and the first since Joe Biden took office, which is a violation of UN sanctions. The missile test that North Korea did. It says, Council diplomats said all 15 members encouraged dialogue and negotiations on North Korea's nuclear program, but disagreed on the need for a statement. Last Friday, the Council unanimously adopted a resolution to renew the mandate of UN experts monitoring sanctions against the North Korean peninsula. Hours earlier, the 15 Council members discussed North Korea's latest test firings at a sanctions committee meeting. On Tuesday, Russia and China both mentioned their proposed December 2019 resolution, UN diplomats said, speaking while being anonymous because the meeting was private. It would terminate sanctions on North Korea and their exports of textiles, seafood, and statues, with the intent of enhancing the livelihood of the civilian population. The Russia-China draft resolution has languished, and whether the Security Council takes up any action remains to be seen. So how can there be diplomacy in North Korea or with North Korea if China and Russia is working behind the scenes, behind the backs of the United States, throwing Biden off to the side and negotiating within themselves to take off sanctions on North Korea? Textiles, seafood, and statues. So how can there be diplomacy? How can there be dialogue if the key players, in order to keep North Korea in check, are working with themselves, just together themselves, and leaving the United States out of it? And not only that, to release sanctions on North Korea for key exports that they can potentially do. That is what's going on right now, folks. This is some crazy stuff. And Biden, last week, at his press conference, they asked him about North Korea. And this is what this guy had to say. This comes courtesy of NBC News. Let's listen in.
Overnight, we learned that North Korea tested 2 ballistic missiles. What, if any, actions will you take, and what is your red line on North Korea?
Let me say that, number one, UN Resolution 1718 was violated by those particular missiles that were tested, number one. We're consulting with our allies and partners, and there will be responses if they choose to escalate. We will respond accordingly. But I'm also prepared for some form of diplomacy, but it has to be conditioned upon the end result of denuclearization. So that's what we're doing right now, consulting with our allies.
Just very quick follow-up.
You only got another hour now, okay?
Diplomacy, can you define what you mean? And former President Obama warned the incoming President Trump that North Korea was the top foreign policy issue that he was watching. Is that how you assess the crisis in North Korea?
Yes.
All right. So this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He's talking about diplomacy. He's talking about talking to our allies. But again, the key players to keep North Korea in line are going behind his back and trying to pass a resolution so all the key sanctions on North Korea can be lifted. And don't forget, at the DMZ, the United States has a phone similar to this one. Let me show you guys something. Similar to this phone, but it's red. Similar to this. All they have to do is just lift it, and North Korea will be on the other side. But North Korea doesn't want to talk to Joe Biden. Back in the Trump administration, when he first went into office, the same exact phone. The Trump administration hadn't even lifted it yet when North Korea was already on the line. They hadn't even lifted the phone and put it on their ear when North Korea was already here saying, let's negotiate. That's how it was. North Korea has absolutely no respect for the United States under Biden. The same way that they had absolutely no respect for the United States under Obama. They know that all the policy, according to Biden, is just Obama 2.0. But let us know what you guys think about this. Let us know what you guys think about Russia and China working together behind the back of Joe Biden to try to lift sanctions on North Korea. Let us know what should happen with North Korea because of the ballistic missile tests. Should the UN step in? Will the UN even do anything? Let us know in the comment section below. If Trump was in office right now, would this be happening? We want to know your thoughts, your comments, your opinions, everything in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching this report. If you guys liked it, slap a like on it. And also make sure that you subscribe and you click that bell if you're new to the channel. Also, make sure you follow us on Twitter and you like us on Facebook. Or if you are on Parler or Gab, make sure you follow us at Golden State Times if you're on that spectrum of social media. Thank you so much for joining us here at Golden State Times. My name is Jen Goldstein, and I will see you guys very soon. Make sure you come and visit. Peace.